Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. Cardinal Brady, my brother bishops and priests and deacons and seminarians, students, religious women and men, so many distinguished pastoral leaders and representatives of our Episcopal Conference, Monsignor Conley, Father Brendan, and the whole community of this historic College of St. Patrick's at Maynooth, friends, one and all in Christ Jesus, thank you. Thank you for your gracious invitation and your warm welcome. Believe me, it is an honor and a joy to be with you on this beautiful May day. God is the only treasure people desire to find in their priests is a challenge and a delight. To do so during this year of priests before a group I admire very much adds to that thrill. Listen, I stand before you no guru or expert, no acclaimed theologian or renowned mystic. I'm hardly some know-it-all Yankee, here to lecture you on how you got into or how to get out of the current crisis you're in, because I don't know. I stand before you simply as a man who loves being a priest, and who enjoys talking about this love of his life with others kind enough to ask him about it. I'm here as well because a man for whom I have a lot of admiration, affection, and appreciation, Cardinal Sean Brady, asked me to come. And I'm here, everybody, listen to this, to repay a debt. Simply put, from a human point of view anyway, I owe the most important pearls of great price, my Catholic faith and my priestly vocation, to you, beloved Ireland. I admired the late lamented Cardinal Cathal Daly very much, but I did not count prophecy one of his many talents. But just listen to what he remarked to us bishops in America when he preached to us a day of recollection 6 years ago. The Cardinal said, "The church is on her knees, knocked to the ground in confusion, scandal, sin, anger, and shame. But as long as she from her knees clings to the cross and does not fall on her face, on her knees is where she really ought to be." So, Cardinal Daly apparently agrees with my priest friend in Milwaukee. 8 days after the cataclysmic earthquake in Haiti, I visited leveled Port-au-Prince in my role as chair of the Board of Catholic Relief Services, the American cousin of your excellent Trocaire. The misery and devastation was beyond belief. Stench was literally in the air. We spent Saturday evening with our 300 CRS workers who resided in Haiti, who had all been there on that dreadful day, and who were physically, emotionally, and spiritually drained after 8 days of intense relief and rescue. During the couple hours I was with them, they cried, they worried, they told us the obstacles and difficulties they were facing. They dreamed out loud of future rebuilding. And as I left, I asked them, "Is there anything personally I can do for you?" One young woman raised her hand. I expected her request to be for more supplies, medicine, tents, food, or to go home and shout from the skyscrapers of New York of the towering needs of Port-au-Prince. Instead, she simply said to me, "Father, tomorrow is Sunday. Will you come back and say Mass for us?" What she wanted from me was not money, supplies, or earthly goods. She wanted the Lord. And she presumed I had the treasure to share with her in the Eucharist. After Hurricane Katrina, we in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee adopted a parish that had been decimated, helping to rebuild the homes, the neighborhood, the church, and the school. The pastor, in one of his frequent messages to us of gratitude, recalled for us his horror the day after this apocalyptic storm. Listen, for the first time in my life, I couldn't say Mass. I had no table, no bread, no wine, no missal, no paten, no vestments. Everything was gone. I felt lost and helpless. For the first time in my life, I realized how much I depended upon the Eucharist, how I needed it, how empty, lost, and scared I was without it, and how my people were so disappointed that I couldn't provide it. That priest had been dropped to his knees by a crisis. That priest had rediscovered that his grounding was in holiness, daily intimacy with Jesus in the Eucharist. Jesus takes us, blesses us, breaks us, and gives us. Taking and blessing we can live with. Breaking and giving, that's another matter. What we're talking about here is humility, no? What we're talking about is the oblative dimension of the priesthood. Stephen Rossetti, the priest psychologist who has devoted such a chunk of his life working with struggling fallen priests, wonders if all the emphasis on fulfillment, self-actualization, having our needs met in the decades following the Council are now taking their toll. Priesthood is not, first and foremost, something we do, but someone we are. While ministry, what we do, is very, very critical, identity, who we are, is even more so. The professors of philosophy among us would recall the maxim, agere sequitur esse, act flows from being. And this applies mightily to the sacrament of holy orders. John Paul II went hoarse, teaching us that the priesthood is a dramatic, radical reordering of a man's very life, his soul, his heart, his identity. And that we're much better off looking at fathers and husbands for metaphors of the priesthood than we are at professions. Thus, the priesthood is a call, not a career, a redefinition of self, not just a ministry, a way of life, not a job, a state of being, not a function, a permanent, lifelong commitment, not some temporary style of service, an identity, not a role. Last Sunday, in the cathedral named after the patron saint of the country you proudly call home, the President of Ireland, knowing I would be with you today, coached me. Tell our priests we need them to be men of joy and hope. Maybe she's the one who suggested our theme. God is the only treasure people desire to find in a priest. Priests of Ireland, faithful of Ireland, I have found God in you and am in your debt. Thank you.